Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert Global Lab patch notes for September 12th. So I heard we got some more class balances and this isn't as big of a update this week compared to the others, but it's always interesting to read through these, and if you want to read through these yourself, it's translated from Korean to English. I'll leave a link in the description to the patch notes, and I'm curious to see what else has changed. Alright, so let's see what classes have been tweaked this week. Sorceress, what has changed? A lot of abilities. Let's see. Admittedly, I don't know Sorceress as well, but they focused on improving Succession. I don't know why they've been doing Succession a lot for just across the board in terms of all the classes, but we aim to make her range skills provide more stable control. To that end, can replace with Prime, okay, more AoEs. I see, okay. Skill can only be activated with a button input instead of hotkey. That's an interesting one. More hotkey only changes. Doesn't that make it harder for people? Like, people who had just had all this hotbarred instead? I'm not sure. PvP damage or PvE damage changed and then tweaked for PvP. Interesting. Maximum range. Dream of Doom. The stamina cost has been changed to consume 150 per second. I don't know if that's more or less, or is that a new thing? Bound effect to only monsters. I remember that being a big thing. I used to 1v1 my Sorc friends back in the day in Battle Arena, and that was one of the things that's like they used a lot. Stun effect, knockdown also applies in PvP. Cool. Minus 20% attack. Forward guard. Tamer, what got changed? Activation speed and number of hits. That's cool. That seems like a good change. Nothing, it's only positive stuff, so that's good. Suck Valkyrie. Ability to engage or disengage while also expanding her combos. I see. Added melee attack damage or AP when using her skills. That's probably good. That seems like a lot. 36 melee attack power. That seems big. 16 AP when chasing a shield in succession is removed. 36. Oh, that's a buff. Okay. So when they say following technologies, I assume that just means like a key combo for it instead of just hotbarring. It's probably good. CORSAIR. CORSAIR is getting buffed for the first time in like multiple years. Holy dude, that's crazy. In PvE, CORSAIR has seen improvements to skill combos and a rebalancing of damage reduction. Previously, Abyssal Legacy skills or bombs contributed. Okay, as a result, both Succession and Awakening had to rely on these skills to maximize the damage output. For CORSAIR Awakening, combos flow smoothly, letting you deal more damage by mixing up a wider range of skills. That's pretty good. You know the most annoying thing about, what is it? Is it Awakening CORSAIR? The one that has the otter shooting the cannons? Dude, that has to be the most obnoxious thing that CORSAIR mains have to deal with. You're gonna have to listen to like the otter like text or see it on screen just like every like 20 seconds or something. You're just like, what is happening? Other than that, like CORSAIR, I didn't hate it. Like I played both specs for a little bit. It's fine. It just obviously just other classes are better. All right, so improve to connect first to second hit more quickly. Cool. That's a lot of damage increases. That's like almost all the skills. Okay. It's a good day to be a Corsair main. Get damage bonuses. Cooldown from 15, 14, 13 to 14, 13, 12. That's actually good. Cooldown changes for every class is probably really low-key good. Like, a lot of people would rather see damage number changes, but if you are a master of your class, no matter what it is, a cooldown reduction helps you flow things so much smoother, to the point where for most classes, I would say cooldown change is probably the highest priority change, followed by damage numbers, because I think being able to flow your combo smoother means so much more in both PvE and PvP than the slight damage tweaks they do. Skills cooldown has been changed to 14, 12, 10 to 12, 10, 8. That's pretty good. More cooldown reductions. Holy, more fat damage increases. That's like every skill, wasn't it? Like, they just had 2 like wall of text. That's a lot. Nova. Oh boy. Every time I read a Nova change, it's like it's drastic, actually. One day, they'll actually improve Succession Nova to actually be competitive with Awakening, because the way it is, Awakening Nova is straight up better than Succession. Succession is cool. Like, I like the idea of having the minions around, and, you know, you being like the caster in a way. You get to have all your minions do everything, where Awakening is more like mobile. You're doing all the work. But the truth is, even though they're so different, Awakening is just straight up better, and like, it's kind of boring playing Succession, but it's cool though. That's about it. Awakening Nova's mobility has been improved in this update. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Twisted Orbit can no longer be used during cooldown. Movement was removed from Royal Fencing Riposte, which weakened the Nova's hit and run playstyle. Okay. We're focused on enhancing mobility around acceleration, allowing Nova to move more freely and effectively. I feel like at this point, like, if you just wanted a free mobile class, just isn't Lon the one to go to? Even though, like, Lon is not bad. It's just not, like, I would say it's like in the middle of the all. If I were to make a tier list, Lon is like in the middle. It's not bad, not great. So Nova, dude, Awakening Nova got that fat change like a couple months ago, and then it like completely changed the play style of the class. Admittedly, I haven't played it, but it's what I've heard. Dracania Awakening changes. 18 all AP and 15 increase attack speed regardless of stance. That seems pretty good. Second and third hits of activation increased. Activation of first and third hits increased. Increased speed. These are actually really good changes. Like, it's not cooldowns, but it's like activation speed is probably right next to that one. Damage numbers increased. Very cool. Wukong changes. Oh boy. Wukong. Let's see. What are these changes? Okay. When the skill is locked, the effect of rushing when striking a target has been added, so it does not activate. It does not activate. Yeah, usually when you lock a skill, that's what it's supposed to do, not activate that skill. The fact that it took so long for that to be, fixed is kind of concerning, but it is what it is. It's getting fixed. Duration of super armor has been increased to last until the finishing move has been retrieved. Okay. Okay. Class modifiers and changes. Sork. Okay, so wait. A lot of mystic changes that weren't addressed in the patch notes. Ran blood flow. Okay, I think that is Lon, I think. Guardian and a bunch of Wukong changes. Dude, like reading all these Wukong changes and then seeing all this, I'm convinced, like, you know how back in the day, if you're an OG player, classes would come out with Awakening, right? And then I think they had like Succession a couple years later for across the board. Nowadays, they just make Ascension classes, which is, you know, like it's one state. Awakening and Succession is like a kind of a mix, but they call it Ascension. If you're only going to do one, you know, like not Awakening or Succession for some classes going forward, at least make sure the class actually works. Like, first of all, what is all this? Do they even test anything, or are they just trying to pump out classes to, I don't know, meet some quota or something? Which concerns me because, you know, Savior is right around the corner, and I'm pretty sure that is going to be an Ascension class as well. And looking at all of this, I'm convinced they don't test anything. It's so concerning, actually. I have a lot to say about this game, but we'll save that for another video. All right. Contribution XP adjustments. So last week, they made it so people who are above 501 contribution get a fat bonus because, you know, that they're just trying to push out more points to everyone. I think that's good. Now, they increased it for people who are under 500. So as of next week, it's easier to push up to that 501 and beyond. You know what I wish they would do is, let me just read it to make sure, like, I confirm that it's not going to be a retroactive change. So, like, let's say you're at 470 right now. It's not going to take that XP and push you up. Kind of like how they did with 501 plus, was a retroactive change to push you a little further. We've increased the contribution XP rewarded from the quest, making it easier to earn. Adjustment of experience required. Okay, so my understanding of this is it's, as of next week, it's going to be easier to get contribution, but it's not going to be a retroactive change. So, like, you know how like if you were at 501 with like 50% of the bar, you're currently at like 510 or something. I don't know the exact number, but like, let's say if you're at 470 now, it's not going to push you up to like 500 or something. That's kind of sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. It's just easier than before, which overall good. I kind of did a fat dump of contribution byproducts from life skilling, so that was a waste, but it's not that big of a deal. Edana's throne. So, you know that thing that happens every Sunday that, you know, most people don't even remember existed, and like the whole concept is cool, but it's so scuffed because you don't even know if you're gonna get accepted until 10 minutes before. Yeah, that's that. The whole system was kind of flawed on release, but we're now a month into Edania. Let's see what changes. The validity period of the Edana challenge proof has been changed from 3 to 24 hours. Hey, look, I talked about that ever since week 1 when this thing was, like, icon or the token was broken for the first 3 weeks. Yeah, guess who gave that feedback for changing it from 3 hours to like 24 or 3 days? Yeah, look who said that. The black curtain feature has been changed from the start of 1 minute to the end. Yeah, so I hope Pearl Abyss of Korea watched some of the NA fights as well, because it really came down to who had more gear. Like the winner was determined by gear score. So like, let's say someone was like 850 gear score, someone is 849. If neither player had lower than 100% health by the end of the timer, the person with higher gear score would win. That is such a dumb concept. I think it should have been like who did the most amount of damage throughout the, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes of the fight or whatever it is. Or, you know, I don't know, just, you know, has anyone ever played like a battle arena, like literally any, you know, like Fortnite or equivalent, and then area shrinks. That's what they're going to do. But still, it should not be based on gear score because that's a stupid method. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like the idea is cool, but the way 10 people get selected every week is like, I would love to participate, but it's just RNG. Do you get selected? That's wild. It should be like a bigger free-for-all or something. I don't know, man. It's just like, it's a cool idea, but if you're not super geared or you don't get lucky to get selected, it's just such an irrelevant thing. But it's a cool idea, though. The number of items that can be used in a function with the continuous care has been changed from 20 to 25. I'm not even sure what the point of that is. Like, 20 was fine back in the day if you were using full blue elixir rotations, but ever since Harmony existed, or like ever since that became an item, like Harmony elixirs, I barely even stacked 20 of them. Like, I don't even really know what the point of 25 is, but sure. I mean, it affects some people, I guess. And then I would say, honestly, for the people who don't even have Continuous Care 5, it's not even really worth pushing it these days. Like, obviously, it's good if you get it, but now that people use Harmonies, it's just like kind of irrelevant. It's whatever. I don't know. Low chance to get Firelight Stones. I'm crafting purified Firelight Stones in a residence. These are the resistance crystals, I believe. I just know of Giant Fighting Spirit, and the other one, this is probably Adamantine or something. Knockdown, Stun Stiff, and like Knockback or something. Resists. All right, two new grind spots that came out yesterday in the NA and EU patch. This is a spot that I heard it wasn't that difficult. It just requires so much AP to be effective that I was watching Choice yesterday. Dude is giga geared. He has like basically hard capped stuff and barely met the requirements. That's concerning. But yeah, either way, guard bonus has been increased. Castle monsters damage has been reduced by 20%. Guard has been increased. Weird. Trash loot increased. They added a like AFK phase. And then this one, this one is like something I swear that could have been tested before release. So the way it works right now, in my experience, during the AFK phase, it's supposed to like wipe out the entire arena, but it only does half the arena. So like think Orbit a Castle, right? After you beat the Titan, you get the minute or so of AFK phase. That wipes out the entire arena. Right now, this is the equivalent, but it only does half the arena. So you're getting like less. It's so dumb how they don't test any of these spots. Like, what is happening, dude? Pearl Abyss. And why does this not come out during release? And also, like, I'm going to be honest, all these spots, whether you're grinding the 350 Ethereum Castle or like this one or this one, the hardest one, Zyphor's Castle, they all feel the same. They're all tower spots. You stand in a circle, back attack the enemies, repeat, wait for the AFK phase. I don't know. I just miss old Black Desert where you actually have to grind loops and stuff, and it actually mattered. Nowadays, people are just running around towers. I hope that in the future of Black Desert, they add more rewarding content in the game. You know, there's a lot of things I could say. Add more game modes that are fun. Improve PvP rewards. You know, Red Battlefield could, actually give billions of silver instead of, something else. So, like, here's how I would change, like, Red Battlefield. Each RBF is 20 minutes. I understand people will go in at the 10-minute mark because they just only want to play half of it. Whether you win or lose, it is what it is. I think that should have been, you should be rewarded based on performance if you do RBF. Like if you do the full 20 minutes and you get a lot of kills in something, or, capture a lot of objectives or something like that, you get, like, the reward tier should be, like, how much damage you do, like, bosses, like, let's say Garmoth. The more damage you do, the higher tier reward you get. So, I think, more game mode should be properly rewarded. All these grind spots are the same. They just reskin Orbita Castle, same thing. I don't know. Like, after people get bored of that and get all this stuff, I just hope the direction of Black Desert is more fun in the future. New knowledge, lore, stories, Calpheon War nodes are moving. Title color will also be displayed. Oh, that's actually a good change. So for all the people who like title collecting, you get to see what color the title is. That's awesome. Title application removal or change has been reduced from 60 to 30 seconds. Why is that even an issue? Like, why was it even 60 seconds to begin with? Why can't it be like 10 seconds? What is that affecting in the game? All right, well, anyway, that's cool. The one complaint I have about titles is, you know how back in the day, getting a gold title or like one of those like other ones for getting a treasure item, those used to be rare. Now people could just buy gold titles, Whenever a new class releases and they sell those pre-order boxes, it's like, here, with this box, you can buy yourself a gold title. Wow. No, that's stupid, dude. I feel like the colored title should be earned. So, anyway, that's just me, but it is what it is. Bug fixes and changes. Movement was not entirely possible near certain coastal areas, and the Odalita Castle has been fixed. Kind of like oddly specific. A lot of UI. I feel like we should all read these bug fixes and changes, because remember how a week or two ago they made a like one-liner into fixes where it's like Krogdalo horse gear is going to be changed so you could melt it for cronstones in the future. And then all those people who read it were like, oh, those are the people who ordered like 1,000, multiple thousands of horse costumes when they gave everyone 3 for free. And then, yeah, that was rich get richer by reading the patch notes. So let's see, do they have any weird bug fixes and changes in the notes this week? You know what the biggest bug fix they could change? Not being able to place a tent on a road, on an inclined area. Just let me place my tent sideways if I wanted to. Let's be honest. All we want is our loot buff and our tent buff. I don't care if my tent is sideways, dude. I'm not sitting in it for like role play, whatever. Knowledge rewards have been added to the quests if you've already completed it. Yeah, so I actually did a little bit of energy hunting the past like week or two. I actually gained like 20 something energy, like 25 energy. I felt good actually. And something like the storyline for Edania, that's like one of the ones I'm missing just because it's like not even in the game. And I was like, I did the entire story yesterday. Well, like the part 2 version, and it still didn't give it. So, yeah, I guess we're all getting another energy if you do the story as of next week. So that's +1. Cool. When opening items for the Advice of Valks will be granted respectively. Oh yeah, so this one is an issue for, everyone that watches Twitch streamers, and you get the drops, right, for like watching an hour or two. Right now it kind of gives you an empty mail that you can't delete. And so, yeah, everyone who has like OCD or something, and then how like everyone clears out their mail, so that little like one, like the Discord icon that's like 1 or something, the ping doesn't show up. Yeah, if you claimed anything from your mail and can't receive your Advice of Valks, yeah, apparently that's being fixed. I talked to the CMs about it, and they forwarded it to the GMs. They know it's an issue, so I talked to them about it. They confirmed that they are aware of it. Yeah, nothing drastic in the notes this week. Overall, interesting patch, nothing too crazy, just tweaks that we probably would expect. I think the biggest change is probably the CORSAIR changes, and then followed by contribution and the title thing. But anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you come back. And we got some more stuff to do in the future, some guides and stuff that I have to update. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.